Hello, everyone, and this is a recording of our health and wellbeing workshop for our 6-week shred and strength challenge. Thank you, anyone who's watching this. Hopefully, there's someone down the line, and we're going to go through just some rules and things like that with the challenge, but also some very insightful nutritional knowledge that is going to help you accelerate your weight loss journey. So that way you're really just short-circuiting so much time and frustration with weight loss, popping on the scales every Monday and Friday and not seeing results and wondering why. So that's what we're going to go through today. All right, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to share my screen. Just bear with me. And here we go. Oops. Okay. Nope, that's not right. I'll get, can I go back? Oh, yes, I can. Okay. So again, thank you for joining us for our health and wellbeing workshop. And we're going to go through some quick points, about the workshop, specifically now just some due diligence here. One, that you've joined the closed Facebook page. If you're watching this video, because I'm going to be putting it up in the Facebook page, obviously you have. 2, you've downloaded the meal plans and training programs. Now, understand that the meal and training programs, they're guides. You can stick to them closely, okay, or you can just take what you need from each of them. If some exercises are great, fantastic. If other exercises hurt joints, don't worry about doing them. Likewise, if there's certain foods in the meal plans that, I really don't like chicken or eggs or oats, whatever it may be, pick and find the ones that you do like and then put it together for yourself, because ultimately that's what any training program, any meal plan is. It's to help you design your own, way of doing things within boundaries, of course. Point number 3, that every week, you're going to be messaging me your weigh-ins on a Monday and Friday basis. The reason why we do that is because Monday to Friday, we generally have routine, but come the weekend, that's when routine just blows up. And overall, our activity is down, and then our food is way up because we're being social. Probably not so much in COVID times, but we're still being social in our own ways. But that's the formula for weight gain. So if we've had created a deficit throughout the week, then all of a sudden we have this spike in calories. It's no wonder we start then the following week at the same weight that we were before. So we've got to make sure that the weekend doesn't outdo what we do on the weekend. And unfortunately, it is very easy to undo 5 days of being good with 2 days of being bad. It's incredibly easy, So, and point number 4, you've decided to either stick to a meal plan or use MyFitnessPal to log in your food. Ladies, we recommend you have anywhere between 1,400 and 1,700 calories. Boys, we have between 19 and 2,500 calories. Now, I'm giving you 2 options there. Again, you can stick to the meal plan, okay? Or you can do flexible eating, do your own eating, but you've got to then have rules. So my rules, and we go through some macro stuff, but specifically the majority of what we do is focused on calories to start off with, as it's a good basis of getting started, and it's quite basic because you can overcomplicate the hell out of it. So calories is where we want to know where we're at, but we all need to have MyFitnessPal. You all need to download it. You all need to add me then, okay, add the next point as a friend. And that way I can see what you're doing and give you advice accordingly. Point number 4, yep, you've used MyFitnessPal and you've added me as a friend. Point 6, you either purchase a Fitbit. Oh, this is a little bit old, but look at Fitbit, Apple, whatever you got there, use something to measure your steps. Okay, that way you know where your exercise is at and you know how active you are. We're all active in our head, but we're not necessarily physically active when it comes to literally doing our exercise. If you're only averaging 3,000 to 5,000 steps a day, it's really not a great deal. We want to be pushing it closer to that 10,000. Okay. Next, point 7. Any questions about weight loss, exercise, and nutrition, have complete confidence that you can always ask me directly, whether it's phone call, text message, private message, on social media, whatever you like. I prefer you to be as open as honest about any queries you have, because from there I can help you. Could be something very basic that's been holding you back. And if you have that experience, more than likely someone else is too. Next point, there's going to be a leaderboard. So every week I'm going to be posting a weight loss, percentage loss leaderboard, the healthy habits tracker, the points, and then every fortnight, the measurements one. Now, understand, nobody knows each other's weight. They only know the percentage of weight lost, centimeters lost, or your healthy habits points, that you've tallied up for that week. Okay. Nobody knows each other's weight. Okay. And if you don't want to be on the leaderboard, you can just let me know and I can take you off. Plain and simple. Okay. Understand. Okay. No, so point 9, that you've got a healthy habits tracker. To me, the healthy habits tracker is amongst the best thing in the challenge, because ultimately these challenges is a result of your habits. So it's better to build habits as opposed to just focusing on a result. A result's great, but if you get to the result and then go back to your old habits, you're going to get your old results. It's that simple. So why not focus on a habit? And that's what we're going to do all through this week. Week 1 is dedicated to using MyFitnessPal, and you'll find out what week 2 is on Monday. But every week we'll have a focus of a different habit. Next point, we'll be doing measurements fortnightly. To me, that's the most accurate, because muscle mass, fat mass, all that changes on a daily basis. So the scale isn't the most accurate way. Your own measurements and how you feel in your clothes, to me, is far better. But how you feel sometimes is very subjective. So that's where, if you do just 3 basic measurements, chest, waist, hips, at least keeps everything relatively simple and easy. And as long as you're measuring the same way or having the same person do it, it should be fairly accurate. And last point, understand that the weekends are the hardest time to maintain weight on this challenge. And thus, don't try to focus on losing weight. Instead, have the focus of, if I can maintain, I'm doing incredible, plain and simple. So have that as a focus. All right, moving on. Okay, now we got here a goal setting sheet. Now with this goal sheet, I'm a big believer in goals. I always have been, always will be. As goals, your purpose of why you're here, that's what gives you fuel, to go to the next level. It's going to give you that fuel to say, when everyone else is going Macca's and they give you a burger and chips, look, I'm just going to have the burger, but I won't have the chips. Okay. Or when it means when you're tired or you really want to hit the snooze button in the morning, you still go for that 6 a.m. workout. Okay. Or that 6:30 p.m. workout when you've come home, work, and you're tired and you just want to sit at home and watch some TV. And what's the latest one at the moment? Emily in Paris, I think, ladies. Boys, I like SWAT, as well, personally. I think that's a fun one. But yeah, it's give you that fuel to at least invest into that time for yourself. Otherwise, it's just easy to hit the snooze, go home, sit in front of the TV, and then it's all downhill from there. It'll give you that energy by creating a goal. And then focusing on 3 specific habits, point 2, that you can implement over the course of the challenge. So I'm thinking about this now for me. My biggest challenge by far is the weekend. I do really good. Like, I'm just giving you a little bit of an update this week, Monday to Friday, I lost 1 kilo. Last night, we went to, I ordered Beefy's Burgers. Now, generally the burger is okay, but then there was chips and then there was onion rings. Long story, and there was a bigger burger than what my wife pointed out to me actually just earlier. And a bigger burger, which, Friday night's not the cheat night, but I cheated. And as a result, I gained about almost 700 grams. So think about that. It took a week to lose 1 kilo. It took 1 evening to gain, 70% of it back. So I'm going to do my best to be as good as possible today and try my best to have a leaner, day overall. So my thing will be weekend eating, and maybe early have a cheat meal probably once every second weekend, looking at it. Increasing water content could be another one. Increasing protein content could be another one. Getting 10,000 steps could be another one. But either way, these are 3 habits that you want to focus on over the course of the challenge that you are going to commit to. And you're not going to try to do it at the end of your day. You're going to try to focus on getting it done as quickly as possible. Obviously, accumulating 10,000 steps, you can't do that from 6 to 7 a.m., but you absolutely can have breakfast. You can get well on your way to drinking 2 liters by having 500 mils in the morning before 10 o'clock. You can absolutely plan your food out in advance. So all those things, a lot of things you can do and do them early. That way you've already got a win. Point 3, what's your reward? Now, all work and no play. Now, you got to do something, as well, that gives you a reward, both at the end and during. Now, I always say I'm a big advocate of cheat meals. So just so we're specific, cheat meal, 1 cheat meal a week, have it, enjoy it, and then move on basically from there. Jump straight back into your meal plan or your good calorie eating. So if you wanted to go to Beefy's Burgers like I did and get your I will say it was a Beef Meister. God, it was great. Not so much this morning when looking on the scale. But if you have that experience, that's okay. What's bad though is when you keep doing that. Okay, a lot of people do what I did last night and then think, oh, well, bugger it, I'm just going to keep on eating crap and it's the weekend, whatever. I've worked hard, I've justified it. And metabolism says, I'm sorry, I don't put up with that BS, and says, well, I'm going to make you gain weight because you're eating more calories than you're expending. So basically, you can have that reward, but then you got to then get back to business. So even today, as well, it should be eating very lightly and back to my normal, I should say. So, but give yourself that little bit of reward of a cheat meal once a week. Give yourself a grand one at the end of a challenge, which could be some kind of clothes, could be some money towards whatever, a massage. I don't know, as well, but it's got to be something specific for you. Then 4, create a non-reward. Now, this can be quite powerful. I believe we do need the carrot and we need, as well, the stick. So the stick in this case could be, okay, well, if I don't achieve my 3-4 kilos or 2-3 kilos, whatever it is, the goal that you have, then I'm going to donate X amount to a charity, or I'm going to give money to a family member, or I'm going to not go on social media for X amount of time, or give up coffee, whatever it may be. It has to be painful though. If it's like, oh, I could probably do without that anyway, that's not painful. So it's got to be something that you are prepared to do. And then point 5, whom are you accountable? Now, you are all accountable to me, obviously, but it's good to be accountable to someone else. Now, someone else that has your best interests at heart, for starters, and doesn't hold back when, you're basically calls you out on your bullshit, is what it comes down to. It is what I'm really saying. And we all have that friend, some closer than others. But you want that person to be especially supportive. If they're just there to ridicule you, well, that's not really the person, and you don't need to share any goals with those type of people. If they're going to support you, great. And you want to put that to them. Say, look, I'm not here. I've included you in these goals because you are someone I love. You are someone who's supportive. I can find you potentially ridiculing at times, but I don't want you to be like that for this. I just want you to be constructive. So put it to them like that and see how you go. And again, sometimes you are not going to like what they have to say, but think for yourself, are they being honest? And then go from there. Okay. Moving on. All right, so now we have the Healthy Habits Tracker, and I do apologize. I should have made this screen a little bit bigger. So this is the Healthy Habit Tracker, which outlines all the habits that myself and my staff over the years have deemed as, successful. So it's based out of 10 points. You get 2 points for planning your meals in advance. You get 2 points for getting 10,000 steps. You get 1 point for getting 2 to 3 liters of water, 1 point for breakfast, 1 point for MyFitnessPal, 1 point for having a carbless dinner, 1 point for allocated dessert, and then nothing else, and then another point for getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Now, some of these habits are easier than others, as well, for all of us. The point, I like the charts that we have here because it at least outlines where you should, and actually outlines what habits you are achieving well, and the habits that you're not. And that's okay, because it's at least being aware. The whole point of this challenge is awareness through education and habits. So that's what we're really trying to achieve here. Okay. And again, I've said it many times. Some people overlook this one. I do see that this is the most important part of the challenge, is focusing on your habits. Okay. Moving on. So this is a sample meal plan, that we have here. As you can see here, there's not heaps of variety. That's done on purpose because it eliminates so much shopping, but it's a 2-week meal plan. So after 2 weeks, it will rotate then into other foods. As you can see, it's usually a 3-day rotating roster. You can particularly see that in the dinners, where you got, for ladies, you're having 150 grams, but then you're having, so day 1 or Monday, you got 150 grams of steak, then cauliflower rice. Day 2, 150 grams of bassa or barramundi, perch, whitefish, whatever you like. And then Slendia calorie fettuccine. So again, very low to no carb, as well, dinners. And then we got chicken on day 3, and then it rotates back to steak. So you got a bit of variety, 3 days of variety there. Your snacks are very similar in their own way, but again, you can pick and choose. So if you really like, oh look, I just really like day 1, can I do that throughout the whole week? Go for it. Okay, that's up to you. You have complete autonomy to do that, but stick to these rules of the portions. Okay, if you don't like any of the food and you think, I'm not going to stick to any of this, that's fine, but stick to the portion sizes. So generally always 150 grams of some type of protein at nighttime, followed by a very low to no carb, as well as substitute. So again, that's the cauliflower rice, that's the fettuccine, Slendia fettuccine, the spaghetti, the Slendia clever spaghetti. And there's also zucchini noodles, other things of that nature as well, that you may want to substitute in there too. Okay, and again, this will rotate every single fortnight. Pick and choose what you like and discard those things that you don't like. Moving on. Okay, now this is the really cool part, actually. This is the macronutrients. Now, in your MyFitnessPal, and I think I have put a video up on this. I'm not sure if I have. If I haven't, I will update it. Ladies, I want you to stick to, your 14 to 1600 calories, or I think 14 to 1700. I should tweak that. But then I want you to set up your macronutrient goals. And again, I'll put a video in if I haven't done that already, and that will outline exactly how to tweak your daily goals. So that way you can see exactly if you're hitting between 80 and, well, firstly, your calorie goal, and then to your macronutrients goal. So 80 to 100 grams of protein is where we want to be, 60 to 70 grams of fats, and 140 to 160 carbs. Now that may seem a lot, but our body is more carbohydrate orientated, and still should be the main source of macronutrients, main macronutrient in our diet, especially when we're exercising. So regardless of what you have heard, it's a better way, but obviously staying away from more refined carbohydrates, so a lot of bread, having a bit of bread in the morning is okay, but having, entire loaf, well, that's not exactly the greatest idea, as well. Different types of treats, especially any packeted kind of treats, as well, they're all refined, complex carbs. Simple carbs, basically very starch based. So you want to kind of stay away from those. For the boys, we have between 1800 and 2400 calories. We have between 120 and 50 grams of protein, 80 to 100 grams of fat, and then carbs between 200 and 220 grams. So, and again, once you do a full day, you can actually see go back through MyFitnessPal and see exactly where you are to make sure you're hitting your goals. And you want to hit them all. Don't think, oh, okay, well, I hardly got any carbs. That means I'm going to lose more weight. Not necessarily. Okay. If you go too low with your calories, and especially carbs, if you don't have enough there, you're going to be constipated, with a high protein diet. So you need the carbs to help things work properly. Two, if your body feels like it's in starvation mode, your body's just going to hold on to fat for dear life. So you need to keep eating, as well, and have a decent amount of calories. And boys, this goes for you too. Moving on. A guide to macros. So basically, here's a sheet, and I'll put this up in the group in terms of, a basic one on carbs, fat, and protein. Basically, for 1 gram of carbs, it equals 4 calories. Okay. Same thing for protein. 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. 1 gram of fat, however, equals 9 calories. So that's the thing to remember. When I'm eating a lot of fat, I'm also eating a lot of calories. So bear that in mind. Even if it's healthy, that's great. But if you go over your budget, you're gaining weight, plain and simple. Okay. Carbs. So basically, here's some quick example. Actually, I think I've got a better sheet. There we go. So we'll go through proteins first. So this is macros. And I'll see if I can move this over here. Yep, there we go. That way we can see that better. Okay. So macros, protein. This is per 100 grams, how many grams of protein you get. So for ladies, remember you're having between 80 and 100 grams of protein a day. Boys, we're having between 120 and 150. So per 100 grams of lean beef, you get 31 grams. Venison, that's deer, I think, that's 27 grams. Salmon, 22. Chicken, 21. Steak, 21. Egg whites, 11. Cod or whitefish, basically there is 20 grams. Pork, and so on, basically. So you want to make sure, though, if you're eating something, that you want to have as well a good combination of not so high calorie, but still getting those macronutrients. So sometimes lean beef, as long as it's lean, as well. If it's just regular beef, for example, it's going to also be very high in calories. If it's lean beef, that you can see, then it's going to be lower in calories, but still high in protein. One of our best, and look, I would love everyone to at least give it a try, is our Kangaroo. Now, with that, there's 2 options. If you've never tried it before, the Kangaroo sausages and the Kangaroo burgers, burger patties. They are fantastic. Very easy way to start. The great thing about our native animal, it is amongst the highest in protein and lowest in fat, which means if you enjoy it, you can eat a lot of it, which is great. And actually, I'm absolutely putting that on the shopping list for me this week, getting back into the roux. So, and that's the good thing about it, because you can just keep eating more and more. The sausages are great. Just a bit of tomato sauce, a barbecue sauce, and then some cauliflower mash if you want. I'm having bangers of mash. Or for lunchtime, I can have a burger. Happy days, So I want you to think about how creative you can be also in this challenge. All right, moving on. There we go. Carbs. There we go. So carbs. So a similar story. So again, this is the highest macronutrient for all of us. And I can't remember your numbers straight away. I remember boys was 200 to 220. Girls, I think you're between 140 and 160 grams of carbs. So this is per 100 grams, which isn't much, so this gives you an indicator here of you got breads, quinoa, squash, dates, pasta, black beans, rice. Just be mindful of rice and pasta. Love them both. Make sure you weigh it out, okay? Because unfortunately, pasta, what you may think, oh, that's probably only 100 grams. No, that's a lot more. And rice is generally a little bit, it spreads over more. But because pasta is very calorie dense, you can't have a great deal of it. It's very hard to lose weight and be on a lot of pasta. If you are going to do it, I encourage you more to have it at lunchtime as opposed to dinner. At least then you're giving your body, your metabolism some time to burn it off, so it doesn't have to struggle overnight to digest it. And then we got fruits and vegetables there. Again, I'm going to put up this slide up in the members page. Moving on, fats, very much a great one. A lot of people say, why do I need fats? Well, by having fats, you have more energy. It is an absolute natural way of boosting up your testosterone. And it makes you feel good too, and suppresses your appetite. So fats have such a wonderful advantage when you incorporate them rather than just manipulating protein and carbs. I've been in competitions, natural bodybuilding competitions before, where all we did was manipulate protein and carbs, and we'd pretty much done nothing with fats. God, I felt horrible, hated the world, and just and very little energy, which then made me lose more muscle mass, coming to think of it. So by adding in your avocados, your nuts, your oils, salmon basically is another great one, which I can't see here, but that's some of them mix in with protein there as well. But by increasing this, you'll feel good. Your appetite will be suppressed for longer, and you'll have more energy. That I guarantee you. But okay, be mindful of your portion sizes. If you have a lot of nuts, and it's very easy to have a handful of nuts, that used to be one of the recommendations by Dietitians Association Australia. I remember measuring it at one time with my hand. It worked out to be about 600 calories. I was like, geez, I might as well have a Big Mac. As well, I've got less calories than that. At least I've got some protein and carbs too. So no, make sure, I'm very specific in the meal plans between 8 and 12, as well, nuts, or 10 to 12 nuts. Again, and that's how specific you want to be. Moving on. How are we going for time? Bit of playtime here. So I just recently created, and I'll move this out of the way where I get my head out of the way. There we go. Pop me back up here. Okay, some slides helping that wifey helped me out with, that she actually took some photos. These are some packages here of some stuff that you can buy from Woolies, Coles, and Aldi. The first slide on the far left here, we've got some fish options. So steamed fresh fish. This is the one in the far left corner, the bird's eye one. That's my favorite. It's actually Thai coconut curry fish fillets. Super tasty. And then you got a lean cuisine one, you got another steam fresh, and you got one up the back, a whitening fillet there. This is a great and should be seen as a fun process to learn about the foods, and that way you can actually see how many calories is in what. So if you've got, ladies, 14 to 1700 calories a day, in general of thumb, if you got more than 5 kilos to lose, you want to be sticking closer, to that 1700 calorie mark. So that way you've got more calories to play with, because as you get leaner and leaner and leaner, your body doesn't need as much food. But if you're going too lean to start with, you're going to put it into a bit of a coma. It's not your metabolism in a coma, and you're going to struggle to see any kind of benefit there. But this is where you can at least, okay, well, if I've got 1700 calories for my main meals, I want to make sure that I'm probably getting about 400 a meal. Okay, so that's 1200. And then my snacks, morning tea, afternoon tea, and dinner, that I've got a couple hundred there to play with there as well then. So knowing that 400 calories, ladies, should be around the mark, as well, you want to have for your main meals. And boys, we want to be having that 500 to 600 calories around that mark, because we got more calories to play with. But there's also then, as you can see here, soybean fettuccine. There's a U-Foods option. There's some corn thins in the far right corner on that first slide. Second slide, very similar, except we got, as you can see there, Kettle salted popcorn. If you have any kind of chips or popcorn, you always want to go for that recess size primary school pack size that you give kids. That's your snack. Okay, you don't need the big one. You might as well have a quarter pounder at Macca's. And it's got very little nutritional value if you do that. Always the smaller ones, and that way you still feel like you're having a treat. You also have here some seafood, some tuna ones here. Tuna is a great snack, very high in protein, high in good fats too, and pretty much zero in carbs. And you also got then, this is one actually in the bottom left hand corner, Uncle Ben's savory rice. That's a great one. I just heat it up in the microwave, 90 seconds, away you go. And with a lot of these options, as you can see, they're very quick and convenient. Slide 3, you got some pastas. You got a protein rich pasta. You got soybean fettuccine. You got this Slendia spaghetti. Personally, I'm gonna see if we can tweak up the next few meal plans with it. Not a massive fan with the Slendia one. Put as much kind of sauces or put that in a broth or whatever, because it has zero flavor. If you're just eating it on its own, you're going to really suffer through that one. So instead, try focus on having some sauces there, because again, as you can see on that pack, it's only got 10 calories. Moving on, the pulse pasta, that's an excellent one. You got not quite double the protein, but pretty close higher protein, but the carbs is about a third reduced, a third less the calories. So again, if you are going to have pasta, I highly recommend you have try this pulse pasta. It's in all Coles and Woolies, and it's a fantastic one, to get into. You also got zucchini noodles, and it's with these ones, it's a matter of trying to experiment with different types of sauces. That way you can make it interesting, okay, for you. Moving on. Oops. There we go. Yep. All right. Okay. We've on that far left side, again, we got some tunas. We got some burger patties, a vegetarian one. We got some protein shakes, and these are really cool as well. This Musashi and Crank. I always look at Woolies, and basically when it's on special, I load up because that way it's just quick, convenient, and can grab that on the way for my afternoon sessions. And then I know I'm at least getting my protein there. And again, different types of sauces, tomato and barbecue sauce. And I know a lot of you thinking, what, I can have that? Yes, you absolutely can. It's just a matter of making sure that you don't drench it, into making your soup. Just pop your sauces on the side of the plate. Okay. Don't try to just drench it, and then just use it accordingly. Okay. Moving on, this is the middle one here. Now, this is the dessert one, wifey's specialty. And she's great with this because she's had some excellent ones here that she's found, specifically the Yoplait Zero. There's a French vanilla one. I got to admit, I've had it a whole bunch of times. Add some strawberries into that. Incredible. There's a casein, a protein custard there. Again, I'm looking at this middle slide, and you can just mix that in. You just pop, as well, 1 scoop or maybe 1.5 scoops, and then I think it's about 150 mils of water to 200, mix it in, and then you got yourself a custard. So a fantastic dessert. If you're struggling with your water, as you can see here, you've got a cooler lime cordial pack. An excellent way to get your water up and make it a little bit more interesting. And always just keep looking at the different ones there. I love that specific one because that's just reminds me of a lime-based cordial, which or kind of like Coke in a way without the fizz. So that's fine for me. Skinny cows is something we've been having in our meal plans ever since 2008. They are fantastic. You can have them in a chocolate sundae portion, or you can have an ice cream portion, or you can have them paddle pop. I think that's about it, but they are great. Basically, the sundae portion looks exactly like the ones you get from Macca's, except smaller. And again, you can have them. There's a great one here that a wife has found, Peter's light and creamy French vanilla ice cream. It's 97% fat free. You can have a little bit more of it, and the taste is just fantastic. At the bottom of the screen, there's the equivalent. I can't see quite the name here, but it's basically like a gay time you get from Woolies or Coles. Clorinda? Yeah. What's the name of the gay time thing that we have?
Summer Delight from Aldi.
Okay, so basically it's called Summer Delight, and it's from Aldi, and it's basically a rip-off of the gay time, but it's lower in calories. So we love that as well. I often have one of those for a dessert, basically. But then that's it, as well. That, or if I've got a little bit of calories to play with, I might get a small pack of pretzels. Moving on to the slide over here on the far right. In the middle, you can see the burger, the Kangaroo Kanga Bangers. So that's the sausages. Again, if you haven't tried it, give it a go. Muck around, have your sauces there ready to go with it too. It's actually already got a bush tomato coating on it, but give it a try. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Along with that, with the burgers, the burger patties, and then have a brioche bun with it. As well, fantastic. Again, we are very fortunate in this country to have such a super high protein, very low fat animal like kangaroo, and have it plentiful at the same time. And we have salmon. Okay, these salmon barramundi portions I get from Aldi. I think they're fantastic. I love the salmon from Aldi. I think that's brilliant. You've got then Serena, you've got a tuna and rice combination, good for a snack or a lunch. You've got other kind of tuna packs there that you can see, and you've got some different types of flavored chicken. Always try go for something that's marinated, or something that you plan on marinating yourself. Don't feel the need to have just boring chicken breast or chicken on its own with no flavor or sauces. There's no point in making this process that hard, because you're not going to stick to it. Okay, if you're just going to add a little bit of sauce and it only adds 5 to 10 grams of carbs in there for a bit of flavor, do it. Okay, especially if it means that you're going to be able to do that long term. Moving on. And again, some more desserts here. Oh, one of the dessert, there it is, that Summer Delight one. That's got it there very clearly in that photo. Again, that's their gay time ripoff. Tastes exactly the same though. It's cheaper and it's less calories. Winning. Also, there's Kenny's ice creams, which you can also get from Aldi. They're like the equivalent to the Halo Top that you can get from Coles and Woolworths. However, they're well, they look like they're pretty much on par with calories there, but they're about half the price. So again, why pay extra for things that you're not going to consume? You know, so sorry that you'll pay extra for something that's exactly the same. I get majority of my stuff from Aldi these days. You got dark chocolate, which is from Coles. And a great thing about the dark chocolate, it comes in a row. And once you finish your portion, well, that's it, you know, as well, you're done. As opposed to taking a row from a block, because you may go back to that block and keep eating more. That's me. I will put my hand up, self-confessed chocoholic. One of the great ones here in this one is something that I've used for many competitions is the diet jelly. Great thing about these diet jelly packs, they're super low in calories. And you can make one sachet, make the jelly. You can have an entire bowl if you wanted. And it's like the equivalent to like 10, 20 calories. It's hardly anything. Essentially, you're finding a way to eat water, you know, flavored water is what it is, but it's tricking your mind because you can have a lot of it. Great one to do. Trying to have some kind of flavored tea at nighttime is always a great way. One, to relax and help you to get good sleep, but two, to suppress your sugar cravings at nighttime. And the next slide, these are just some sauces: basic barbecue and tomato sauce, medium chili sauce, Thai sweet chili sauce, whatever you like. A lot of the sauce is actually really nice. Just don't drench your food in them. You can just pop it on the side or lightly marinate them. Sauces, a lot of sauces are very low in calories. Moving on, some snacks. We got Nature Valley bars, and which you can get from Woolworths. Fiber One bars, again, great desserts there. You can see on that far left side, that left-hand side, along with some different types of protein drinks there. Again, with everything, great thing with all these things here, they've all got a barcode on them. And in MyFitnessPal, you can scan that barcode and bang, straight away gets uploaded to your file. And that way you can see for yourself the value of the food and if it fits in or not. And on the last slide here, we have your carbs here. We got, this is definitely one I'm a fan of, the Quick Oats Creamy Honey. Had it many, many times over many years. Always a great one. Quick and convenient. Crumpets, another fantastic one. Sandwich Thins. Wifey found this one, and it's actually, just in case you wonder who Wifey is, it's Clorinda, if you haven't met her. And their Sandwich Thins, really great because it's about the equivalent to one slice of normal bread, but separates them. So it's thinner, obviously, but for that reason, you're having pretty much half the calories. Even English muffins are okay, but again, just stick to having 1 to 2 and you're perfectly fine. I'll move on very quickly and put these next ones in into a slide. And I'll just move me down here. There we go. And this slide here is about alcohol and calories. Now, team, if you're drinking on a regular basis, regular meaning, you know, at least having 1 to 2 drinks a night, you're going to struggle with this challenge. Okay. Now, the main reason why alcohol, especially at nighttime, I hope you drink. If you are drinking, you're drinking at night, you know, it will slow down your metabolism. Okay. And it will create issues with your digestion. You will struggle to see your hard work on the scale, okay, or even in your measurements, because your body is just having empty calories. Empty calories phrase meaning you can't use the excess calories from alcohol, okay, to energy output. Okay, it's going pretty much 2 places. For the boys, straight to the gut. Ladies, I hate to say it, it's going straight to your butt, okay? And butt, and depending on your figure there, butt, thighs. So, or even gut for some of us. I know that a lot of people from my background typically store, females typically store it more in the stomach than anything else. But either way, it will be stored if you have a lot of it. So try not to drink every night. Try to just have nights where it's alcohol free. Obviously, the less alcohol you drink, the better. plain and simple. Okay, your choice. Okay, and moving on. There we go. This is okay, I'll move me up here. This is a very cool rice comparison, looking between Uncle Ben's cauliflower and then Slendia rice. Now, to say these are all fine. Now, it all just depends on how many calories you have to play with. If you are at nighttime and it's like, oh my God, I don't have much calories, then the cauliflower or Slendia rice may be the option for you. Okay, and once you have lower carb dinners anyway, but for lunch, you may well say, well, no, it's lunchtime. I'm meant to have more carbs at lunch. In fact, I should be having majority of my carbs, as well, right here at lunch. So your Uncle Ben's, rice in this slide will be more appropriate. Okay, and again, it all just depends on how many calories you have for the day. But as a rule of thumb, you want to have more of your carbs, okay, in breakfast, lunch to early afternoon. And then after that, protein and fats become the dominant macronutrient that you want to have. Moving on. Okay, and we have now burgers. Who doesn't love a burger? Now, basically, you've got normal beef patties, okay, which you've got here on the top right hand of your screen. Then you've got a lean beef burger, okay, and then you got the Kangaroo. Okay, now this slide in itself is enough to say why you should at least give Kangaroo a try. As you can see, the calorie difference from the normal beef burger, you got 233, lean beef burger, 162, Kangaroo burger, 104 calories. Okay, then we go down. The carbs are pretty negligible. There's not much there, especially when you're looking at 3, 6, and 1 gram of carbs. Next one here is actually quite interesting. For the protein, you have 9 grams in the higher calorie burger, 14.5 in the medium or lean burger, and then you've got 20 grams of protein for our Kangaroo, which is incredible because that's double the amount of protein that you're having in the burger patties, in the full high calorie fat, as well, burger patty. So it just lets you know that, wow, it's only 104 calories as well. I'm getting 20 grams of protein. I can have double that portion and still be under and feel satisfied. Great. And again, the more I talk about it, the more I'm convincing myself. I haven't had the roo for a little bit. I'm getting back into it this week. And then for the next slide, which is just absolutely blows my mind. For the normal beef burger, you're getting 20 grams of fat. For the lean beef burger, which shows how lean it is, you're only getting 8.7, so it's less than half, which is incredible. But look at this, from the Kangaroo, it's only got 2.1 grams of fat. So in other words, it's double the amount of protein, but 10 times leaner than a normal beef burger. Team, that's enough reason to just give it a try, okay, to see if you like it or not, because you can really be saving a lot of calories, and depending how you cook it. Generally, you've got to cook Kangaroo for a little bit longer and have it on medium. Although I chuck it in the air fryer myself personally to make the job very simple, and tastes fantastic. So next slide, moving on. Pasta comparison, we've got normal pasta here at the top right hand corner per 125 grams, works out to be, and this is cooked, by the way, not uncooked, cooked, works out to be 454 calories, and then 414 calories for pulse pasta, so not a massive saving there. And then you got Slendia, which is the lowest one, only 12. So, and again, you want to be having the normal to pulse at lunchtime, and then the Slendia one at nighttime, as that's really low. Carbs one here is very interesting. Between the normal full carbohydrate pasta, you're getting 90 grams of carbs per 125 gram cooked pack. If you move over to the pulse pasta, you're getting not quite half, but pretty close to it, well, two-thirds of it, and then less than a gram for the Slendia, because it's made out of a vegetable. The protein is also very interesting. In the normal San Remo spaghetti, you've got only 15 grams of protein. In the pulse one, you're getting almost double at 28.8, so which is really good. Again, I'll really encourage you to go towards the pulse pasta where you can, and the Slendia less than a gram there. So, and the fats are pretty much negligible. But again, look at the pulse pasta, give it a try. Okay, if you don't like it, that's fine, but at least give it a try. Moving on, meat comparisons, and oops, we'll go back and we'll leave it at this one. So this is a really cool one. Again, if you don't like the roux, you've tried it, that's fine. Now look for lean meat, lean beef ones instead. This is a cool one on a meat comparison of mince, looking at just normal regular beef mince, which is in the top right-hand corner there from Coles, 217 calories, as opposed to the extra lean beef mince works out to be 129 calories. Moving down the chart here, the carbs are pretty much negligible. The protein is pretty much negligible between the two in terms of they're pretty much the same. You got 19.9 grams for the full fat one, 20.5 grams in the lean mince. Not a big comparison. The big one here is really in the fats, which comes down to 17 grams of fat per 100 grams of the normal beef mince, as opposed to only 4.7 grams in the lean mince. So always look for the lean side of things where you can. Over the course of an entire day, you could be saving yourself a massive amount of calories. And always keep looking for your protein too to see how you can get that up. That'll help suppress your appetite. And that'll do us for today, team. If you got questions from this video, please let me know. Love to have comments, love to answer questions. And I'll be putting up these slides also in the group. Thank you, everyone, and have a great weekend. Okay, bye. Okay, see you, team. And